Coming on in. I tried to save the title, but it wouldn't, so I gave up. But now that I have some people here, if you watched my story a few days ago, I put in I put in the question box asking for some topics that you guys wanted me to go live about on my next live. So I saved them all and I'm going to try my best to cover the majority of them, if not all of them. But the one that I wanted to avoid the most is probably the one I needed to talk about the most. And so that's what I'm going to touch on today because I kept thinking about it and whether or not I had the energy to do it. So I'm here to talk about that today. And that was, somebody sent in the question of, why are so many people obsessed with this twin flame concept? And if you're just joining in, if you miss any parts, I'm going to attempt to save it and then put it on IGTV and then YouTube later. So don't worry. So somebody was asking, why are people so obsessed with the twin flame concept? So I did take some notes on, I know it's my favorite topic, right? So I took some notes on why I feel that is and also why I find it problematic. You know, if you guys know me, I keep it real. I'm not a fan of the twin flame concept, theory, obsession. I'm not a fan of any of these spiritual terms, to be honest, at the end of the day, because I feel like people put too much weight on it. I feel like people, instead of looking at the relationship as a whole and whether or not it's a vibrational match for them at this time, because they're obsessed with or addicted to this concept of a heavily weighted spiritual term like soulmate or twin flame, they often remain in situations far too long that are not serving them. So all that being said, I don't want to upset, sorry, my hair is like not where I want it right now, but that's okay. I like to chill on the lives. I don't do all the makeup and stuff. So all that being said, I'm not here to hurt anybody's feelings. You know, if you are someone who truly believes in this concept, and all it is, like, this is just my personal view, so you can take it or not. I'm not here to like upset anybody in that way, at least not on purpose, you know. So the reason I feel people are so obsessed with it is because my hair is luxurious. I look like Hollywood star. Thank you. I have luxurious hair. No, I'm just kidding. The reason I feel people are so obsessed with it, and I'm not going to lie to you guys, there was a time in my life that I too was obsessed with the twin flame concept. I would say maybe 4 or 5 years ago, before I had yet another level of awakening, which again, we have many in lifetime, and each one, I see things more and more clearly. And so I believed all that, you know, I believed in all of the steps, the runner and the chaser phase and all that stuff. And the person I thought was my twin flame at the time, like, it was just another lesson. It was just a lesson to show me, when am I going to stop settling? When am I going to know my worth? When am I going to set further boundaries? You know, when is enough enough? All of those things I didn't realize till I went through it all. There was a time I was obsessed with it too, but when I look back to it, I realized it was a time in my life where I wasn't confident in my authentic self. I was very insecure. I was trauma bonding myself. I was looking to feel like there was more of a purpose for all of the rejection I was feeling, for all of the pain I was feeling. And I realized that a lot of people that are obsessed with this twin flame concept are experiencing some similar things in some way or fashion. A lot of the people who are obsessed with the twin flame concept are, not all, but a lot, the twin flame concept as it stands, like majority now, like how people view it as like these different stages of like I said, the runner and the chaser, the avoidance stage, all of that stuff. A lot of the people who are, you know, believing so heavily in that are people that have that fearful or avoidant attachment style, or are suffering from a lot of insecurity. And like I said, looking for a deeper purpose in their pain, looking for a deeper purpose in trying to fill a void and trauma bonding. So and I realized I was at that stage once upon a time in my life too. But again, after different awakenings, after different experiences, after doing a lot of self-love work, after therapy, after working on myself, I realized, the spiritual terms that we put on these things don't matter at the end of the day. Which brings me to, but again, before I get into my notes further, I'm thankful for all of those experiences. I'm thankful for all the heartaches and pain I went through, because had I not gone through all that and done all of that research, I call it, on who I am and going through all of that, I would not have my vibrational match now, who, is a healthy, loving relationship. So I'm thankful for all of those experiences. So why I find the twin flame concept as it stands now, that a lot of people are believing in, problematic? Well, for one thing, it's a very modernized idea. It's a man-made concept, let's be clear, because this idea it's not like a concept that has been around for centuries. It's very recent. So somebody came up with this idea and then, put it out there. Not to say that it does, maybe to some degree, could be some truthful aspects of it. It's very new. Let me just see what some of these comments are. Someone said, but the sad thing is there are all these readers who cater to twin flame. Yes, but again, I don't want to put anyone down for their personal beliefs. I'm just going off of what I've seen, my experiences, and then after certain awakenings that I've had, what I personally view to be true. Okay? Someone else said, twin flame concept is ascending too. Runner and chaser stuff is Paleolithic twin flame dynamic. It has changed since then. Well, you're bringing up one of the points I'm going to get to in a moment. So I'm just going to jump right into that part, the runner and chaser. One of my issues with the twin flame concept and why I find it problematic is that it romanticizes rejection. It romanticizes separation. It romanticizes toxic traits. It romanticizes unavailable people, whether that's emotionally unavailable, physically unavailable, or even legally unavailable, because there's a lot of people running around dealing in affairs, dealing with married people, thinking that they're their twin flame, So it romanticizes all of these things that put down your sense of self-worth, that leave you holding on and prevent a lot of people from working on themselves and to being comfortable with themselves fully as a whole being without another person to validate them. So that kind of segues into my other point of, one of the other things I find problematic with the concept is that it leaves people with this impression that another person makes you whole because your twin flame is your other half, right? But after my personal view is that you come into your life already as a whole being. You come into your life already as a whole spirit. So your spirit's already whole as is. You can have soul connections, soul ties with different people, but they are not the other half to your whole spirit. Hopefully that makes sense. So that's another reason why I find it problematic. And once again, like I said, there was a time in my life I believed these things, but then I realized I was just dealing with unhealthy traits within me. I was dealing with an unhealthy attachment, a trauma bond to another person. And over time, I just realized at the end of the day, these spiritual terms like soulmate, twin flame, karmic relationships, they don't matter. I use them because people relate to them and are obsessed with them a lot of the time, or even addicted to them. But I'm not a fan of these spiritually weighted terms. To me, at the end of the day, how does the relationship make you feel? Do you feel secure in it? Are you getting back the same energy you're putting out? Do you feel truly loved? Do you know what being truly loved feels like? Do you know what healthy love feels like? Do you have self-love? Do you feel incomplete without somebody? Do you feel incomplete without having a relationship, or do you feel like a complete person as is? So these are the things that are more important in terms of how a relationship is elevating you. Is it elevating you, or is it bringing you down? Is it making you feel like your best self and bringing out your best qualities, or is it bringing out your worst qualities? These are the questions that are more important than whether or not somebody has said that's your soulmate or your twin flame. Somebody said, let me just see some of these comments before I continue. Guys, Erika is awesome. Get a reading if you haven't with her already. Thank you. Thank you. Let's see. Somebody said, yeah, I hate the idea that half of me resides with someone else. That's why this concept never resonated with me personally. Yes, and you know, the reason at the time in my life when I was a much more insecure version of me, it seemed so romantic, you know? It seemed like it's like we get brainwashed by like movie concepts or things like that, where people think that they can get somebody who's unavailable emotionally, mentally, physically, or even legally to change for them. And it romanticizes, like I said, it romanticizes separation, rejection, and toxic traits. Somebody said it definitely seems very romantic for sure. I understand why people are attracted to it. Yes, but we are not in a Shakespeare play, you guys. So, and again, I'm not trying to hurt people's feelings. I just want people to not put so much weight on these terms and just look at the connection for what it's really showing you, and learning to know your worth and your value. Because again, I too was there once before, but I have evolved and grown from such things to now knowing that what I view to be a vibrational match is more important. And when I say vibrational match, that just means somebody who matches your desires, your needs, at whatever stage of life you're in at that time. Your vibrational match is bringing about the best qualities in you, making you the best version of yourself. Let's see what else comes through. It definitely seems very, oh wait, I read that. Somebody said, well, me and my husband are twin flames, and we had this runner and chaser theme 10 years ago. Even if we were in union, we rejected each other and ourselves, but no one needs to do this anymore. So, and 10 years is a long time. So my point, you know, you guys seem to work it out, but I think to your point, a lot of people don't understand. If you choose to believe in such a concept, most people are not dealing with the twin flame. Most people do not meet their twin flame in this lifetime, because in order to even do so, if you believe in the concept, you have to have already done a certain amount of soul growth and soul work on your soul work on yourself and healing, self-healing, before even being on that spiritual level to come into contact with this kind of a soul connection, if you choose to, you know, believe in it. So part of that could be that throughout that 10 years for you, that you were working on yourself. However, nobody should put 10 years of their life on hold, attached, you know, to someone. I'm not saying that's your situation. I'm saying in general, if somebody's watching this and is in a situation that is in it for a long time, and it's, you know, it's not making them their best version of themselves, like 10 years is a long time, you know, to be dealing with something like that, of that, again, I mean no offense, of toxic traits like runner, chaser, avoidant, you know, energy. You know, so love should feel like love. And so I hope that you have love that feels like love now in your situation. But this kind of, let me just kind of circle back to one of my other points too, of So I have in my notes here, it says we spend too much time trying to categorize soul connections too. So that's one of the other things I find problematic within it, because at the end of the day, and I think one of you kind of said that earlier too, that in the comments, that it's all just connections, right? So we spend too much time categorizing the connections, and just instead of just saying it's a soul connection. This soul connection makes me feel this way. That soul connection makes me feel that way. But why do we have to title everything? Why do we have to title everything or separate everything into soulmate, twin flame, karmic, whatever? Why do we have to title it? Why can't it just be a soul connection that is teaching me this, or a soul connection that is teaching me that? A soul connection that is making me my best self, or a soul connection that is making me learn and grow through sometimes traumatic experiences and challenges. Hi. So hey Sosa, somebody said we all one. We are all one. Yes, we are. So yeah, that was one of my other points, that like we spend too much time trying to categorize these things. Just let a soul connection be what it is, a soul connection. We don't have to label it. My next thing was, sorry, this concept makes my head hurt. My head is hurting, but it's also because I'm trying to channel information too. So I have here in my notes also, ideally what we want is a vibrational match, regardless of whether or not you subscribe to these spiritual terms like twin flame, soulmate, etc. We want a vibrational match. And like I said, to me, vibrational match is going to match whatever those needs, requirements, deservingness that you have at whatever stage of life you're in. Now, I believe, going back to this idea of soul connections, we have soul connections for different stages of our life. We have a soul connection. You may want to use the term soulmate, because anyone you have a connection with is a soulmate. That gets over romanticized too. But we have these different soul connections for different stages in our lives. We have many of them. So as we grow and evolve and become the best version of ourselves, as we become better versions of and whole within ourselves, the quality of our relationships change. So that's why now, at the stage of life that I'm in, I can, not to toot my own horn, but the quality of my relationship is amazing, because I've been through so much of the hurt, the pain, the trauma, and I've learned the lessons. And then I got to the point where I needed to be happy with myself, wholly with myself as is. Solely happy with myself as is, and happy with my life without needing somebody to make me feel complete. And as I continue to grow and work on myself and elevate, then my vibrational match that matched the best version of me, he came to me in the best version of him. And so now it's finally a healthy situation. Let's see what else somebody said. Soulmate equals soul lessons. Correct. Soulmates are just soul lessons. They can be easy, flowing, happy, divine lessons, or they can be the very challenging, heartbreaking lessons as well. Let's see what else I have on here. I only have one more point, but I do want to say, if you just joined in and you missed the beginning of this, I'm going to be saving it and putting it on my IGTV so you can watch it from the beginning, and then later on my YouTube. We're talking about the twin flame obsession, and also why I find the twin flame concept problematic. So the last thing I wanted to say about this, before I read some of these other comments, I just want to say that I've seen some difficult things with people really obsessed and misunderstanding this twin flame concept, and thinking that the person that is completely toxic to them is their twin flame, and holding on too long, and actually sometimes even getting their lives in danger because of it. I just want to say, the person that is toxic, or the person that is continuing to cause you harm, mentally, emotionally, or physically, is not worth remaining attached to. regardless of if you think or have been told that that person is your twin flame, if the person is causing you continuous harm mentally, emotionally, or physically, or is toxic, it is not worth remaining attached to. So that is my biggest point, and I want to make that clear because I've seen so much toxicity with people remaining attached to these romanticized, unavailable, toxic relationships, all because they believe or have been told that somebody is their twin flame. Let me see what else somebody said. How do you best integrate your soul development with those around you? ESP, when you feel you outgrew people or situations. How do you best integrate your soul development with them? My personal experience with this. I can answer that question for you. Let me just read it one more time to make sure I've got it, because now my head is spinning because of this whole... I think my head always hurts when I talk about twin flames because people just sometimes... It's almost like they want to hold on to the belief so strong that regardless of whatever truth I say or tell, it's like they just get mad at me, and I feel it. Okay, so my head hurts. How do you best integrate your soul development with those around you? Okay, so acceptance is the word that comes to mind. Like, I have lost a lot of people in my life over the past several years, but more so the past year or two, especially when it comes to friendships, or just even down to, this may be a little bit off topic, but even down to the things that I used to enjoy and watch. As my soul grows and develops, like, I don't vibe with it anymore. Like, when it comes, I've gotten to a place of acceptance with just understanding that sometimes you outgrow friendships, relationships, that are just no longer, again, this vibrational match concept. It's just not a vibrational match anymore, and just knowing that it's okay. It doesn't mean there has to be hate. It doesn't mean there has to be anger. There can be appreciation for the lessons learned with those, for what those connections were at that time. But sometimes you just have to keep growing and evolving, even if, as my circle grows even smaller and smaller, like, I've come to terms with that, knowing and understanding that I don't need a lot of people in my life to feel good or complete. I don't need a lot of friends or acquaintances. They can be nice, but not needed to make me feel like I'm important or anything like that. And that's some things I've learned over time. And I've always been more of an introvert, but I've come into more of an acceptance of my introvertness lately as these changes happen, because I don't feel the pressure to have to do anything otherwise anymore as my circle gets smaller and smaller. Even down to, like, I don't want to say the artist name, but like certain musical artists I used to really like up until maybe a year ago, and as my soul grows, like, their certain music, certain shows, reality shows, certain things, it's just, I used to watch and really like it, and now it just kind of like, I'm turned off by it because it's so 3D, it's so fake, it's lacking substance. It's so as I step more into like the 5D energy too, it's just a lot of things that I used to find joy in, I don't anymore. I've come to a place of acceptance with it. I hope that answers your question. Let me see what else somebody said. Going back to that twin flame messages, or someone said, "You are totally right in everything you say. Thank you. The concept is misunderstood and romanticized way too often." Yes, it is. You guys are trying to guess the artist. I'll say it was more so rappers, female rappers. It was more so female rappers I used to love that I just can't anymore. I'm just like, but yeah. Reality shows, I used to be addicted to The Housewives. LOL, now I hate it. Yeah. Let's see. You're welcome. Some of the music seems like they are hypnotizing you. I feel off. I vibed away from plenty of people. Yeah, the music it's programming. That's the easiest way to program somebody's subconscious, is to get a song stuck in the head. The rap and hip hop game is whack now. The message is lost. Yeah, I agree. So I think that really covers everything I wanted to talk about today. If you missed it from the beginning, like I said earlier, I'm gonna save this so I can put it up on my IGTV and then later on my YouTube. So I'll talk to you guys later. My head's spinning. I think I need to drink some water and lay down now. Bye, guys.